The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Betty.
I found this really sad survey, and it's all about making new friends. So you remember back when MySpace was a big deal, you had Tom.
Who's your friend?
And you had 7 other friends that you could put in your top list. You could actually rank your friends, and you could change it whenever you want. Yeah, it started some feuds for sure. Yeah, but nowadays, most of us might have a hard time finding even 8 people to put on that list. Many Americans admit that they haven't made a new friend in over a year.
I get that.
You do?
Oh, yeah,
I actually
100%.
do too.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like, I've met this person at church, and they're like, yeah, I see them and we talk on Sunday, but I don't. It's been a while since I've been like, oh, hey, we should hang out to someone new.
Okay, interesting. The same amount of people haven't been invited to a party in at least 6 months.
I get that.
You get that too?
Yeah, my circle of friends has gotten really smaller the older I got. And then some of them, like our best friends, moved away. And like we didn't replace them. We didn't go out and go, oh, let's find 2 new best friends,
Right.
kind of thing. And so we just kind of just exist ourselves, and
Right.
it's fine.
Well, most people can't name can't name one best friend.
Oh, it's a bit
Isn't
of
that sad?
That's a little bit of a bummer.
And
Yeah.
if you can name one best friend, most people who do have a best friend can name at least 2. So
Okay.
the average, if you can name one best friend, you can also name one more.
Okay. Can you be your own best friend?
That's so sad.
Does the Lord count?
Isn't Betty your best friend?
Yes, she is.
What if I don't want to be? No, I have a theory as to why this is.
Okay, why?
And I think maybe it comes from being a single person. I'm not sure. But as a married person, do you feel like you kind of settle in to this is the norm? Like you don't feel like you have to try and find new friends because you have that person that's always going to be there type thing.
Right. Yeah, because like my wife and I are friends. You know,
Right.
like she would be what I would consider my best friend.
Right.
And then I have like my guy best friend, which would be Greg. And like that's all I need, kind of thing. And so
Well,
it's a good point, though.
yeah, I think though, for me as a single person,
Right.
you have to really try.
You gotta work
have
hard.
to put effort into
Sure.
it. It's not something like if you're just sitting back and hoping you come across someone and
Right.
just hope to make friends, or you hope someone even approaches you and wants to start a conversation. Those are all good things and they could happen, but sometimes it takes effort from you, making it something that is a priority in your life. And that's something that I've had to do. I've had to start those conversations. I've had to reach out to people.
Oh,
I've
yeah, you
had
stalked your upstairs neighbor.
Stalked is a strong word, but also hosting parties.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't been invited, you might be the one that needs to start a party.
Exactly.
Because ultimately, what I have found out is people want to be a part of things. They just don't initiate for some reason. And so
Yeah.
if you can be an initiator, people will appreciate it.
Yeah, and see, that's where say where Greg and Molly moved away, I'm like, oh, I don't replace them because my wife and I are so solid.
Right.
Like maybe if I didn't have a healthy relationship with my wife, then I might have been like, I got to get a new best friend to do stuff with. But like when they moved away, we just kind of regrouped with ourselves and we're like, okay, well, this is fine. I'd rather they were here,
Right.
but it's fine without it. So I 100%, I think your theory is actually on point. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And one of the things that makes Support Drive so great is the stories of people being abundantly generous and continuing the ministry of Way FM. We're not even into Support Drive yet, and we already have an example of generosity. And we're hoping that this will carry us through and give us that head start to have a successful Support Drive here next week. This week. It's this week. Oh, wow. I lost my track of time. It's this week. It's Friday. Oh, goodness gracious. Running out of time already on this. Now I need to panic.
Yeah, if we can get 100 people doing their best monthly gift, if you might be thinking, well, what does that look like? It could look like for you $10 a month, $100 a month. It could be $1,000 a month, whatever it is. If we can get 100 people doing their best monthly gift, $20,000 is going to get added into your listener-supported Way FM. But if we come up to only 99 people, it doesn't happen. So if you're thinking, I don't know if I'm really needed. Yes, you are.
Absolutely, you're needed.
Every vote counts.
It really does, actually. Very timely, Rock. And so, yeah, if you love the ministry of Way FM and you listen to it every day and you've thought, oh, yeah, I'd like to see this continue, this is a way you can do it and have your impact even bigger. You know, when you get in now and you help make this $20,000 a reality. Again, it's your best monthly gift, whatever that looks like for you. If you ever thought, my $10 a month, is that really going to matter? Absolutely,
Yes.
because that could be the $10 a month that pushes us over the end and adds $20,000 into the total. So when a lot of people get involved and do a little bit, big things happen. We'd love to get you counted in before Support Drive kicks off on Friday. But this ends on Thursday. So if you want to get in now and make that difference starting right now, that would be amazing. All you have to do is just text the word GIVE to 91979. That's GIVE to 91979, and you can help out now. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. It's time to do a little best worst joke right now, okay? This is where we try to stump each other with different jokes, and if we cannot steal a punchline from each other, that joke stays in, but if the punchline is revealed, then that joke is out. Now, here's where you come in. A, you have two jobs. One, you tell us what you think is the best, worst joke that we had. But then B, this is how you win a prize. You tell us a joke. If we cannot steal your punchline, you will then win the prize. So anybody feeling particularly good about theirs?
Me,
Betty
me.
Rock. All right. Starting
I
off
do.
strong. Here we go.
Okay, what type of music do whales listen to?
Whaley good. Oh, it's gonna be something with like an orchestra music.
Oh, Gavin's on
She felt so
fire
good.
today. Oh, the look on her face says it all.
I was right?
Orchestra music.
Orchestra.
I wasn't
love
getting
how
there.
much joy each of you find in hurting me.
It happens once in a blue moon.
Yeah, wow, that was rough. Okay, Gavin, your turn. Maybe she'll steal yours.
Okay.
And then I'll just win.
I know. Okay. Why did the cowboy get a Dachshund? A Dutch hound.
A dachshund.
Dachshund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did the cowboy get a dachshund?
What'd you call it? A Dutch hound?
Dutch hound.
I'm curious if the dachshund has anything really to do with the joke, because if he doesn't know what kind of
Wow.
dog it was, it can't be like a hot
want a
dog.
Dutchin. I've heard of Dutchins.
Oh, man,
I
stop
think they're
it.
a great breed. Dutchins.
Am I even like
Dachshunds. Okay, what is this? What's the joke again?
Okay. Let's see. Why did the cowboy get a dachshund?
A dachshund.
A dachshund.
A dachshund, the little wiener dog.
Yes.
Dachshund. Okay, why did the cowboy
Should I even like qualify at
Not
this
really.
point? Not really, right?
Go ahead. Why?
Because someone told him to get along, little doggy.
Oh, not bad, actually. I like your delivery. How did you not get that dachshund was a long little doggy?
No. I knew what they were, but then.
Did you?
No, in the moment you're reading it.
Yeah, and it
And
seems
you're
weird.
like ducks, datch shunt.
Okay.
It's spelled,
It's
so
spelled
weird.
weird, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Dachshund.
that's on me.
Okay, here we go. Mine. What kind of shoes do chickens wear?
Chicken feet, rooster.
Reebok box. Reeboks.
That's good.
There we go. All
like that a
right, so
lot.
you got two to choose from. You have the dachshund
I
in
think, how
one.
about we take Gavin's out and put mine back in?
No, I got yours fair and square.
What type of music do whales listen to?
Orchestra music. It's out.
Orchestra.
That was really good, though.
What?
Yeah, what? All right, so you have two jokes to choose from. Pick the best, worst joke, and then tell us which of those, or then you tell us a joke. If we cannot steal your punchline, then you will win a prize. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. All right, Steven, here we go. Welcome to the best, worst joke game. Now, you have a job to do first, and that's to tell us who had the best, worst joke, either Gavin or myself. Now, Gavin could not pronounce the word dachshund because it's spelled
Say it
weird.
again.
I get it. And give him your joke, Gavin.
Why did the cowboy get a dachshund?
There you
No,
go.
a Dutch hound.
A Dutch shunned. Okay. Someone told him to get along, little doggy.
Nicely done. Good delivery as well. Or what kind of shoes do chickens wear? Reebok. Box. Betty Rock had a good
But
joke,
also,
but hers
Steven,
is out.
remember my joke?
It's out.
What kind
Out of
what
contention.
kind of music do whales listen to? Orchestra.
Yeah.
What?
Gavin stole
So
her punchline,
good.
so she's out and will not let it go. So with that said, which of the first two jokes do you think is the best, worst joke?
I definitely like the Dawson joke.
Yes.
Poorly delivered, but had a great pun.
Yes, poorly delivered is right. All right, well, congratulations, Gavin.
Thank you.
That's a win, and you stole Betty's joke. You're on fire today. So let's see if you can help us out here with Steven's joke. Steven, you tell us a joke. If we cannot steal your punchline, you will win a prize. Go for it.
Alrighty. Why do dramatic girls always travel in odd numbers?
Does Gavin know it?
I know it, but I don't want to steal
Oh,
his
you
prize.
on fire again? You
I don't wanna
have
steal
to,
his
Gavin.
prize
Do it.
Because they can't even.
Nice!
They can't even, yeah.
What in the world? Gavin, you are a joke master today.
It's a good day.
You're 2 out of 3 for stealing jokes. That's amazing. Well, Steven, I am so sorry that Gavin's comedic genius stole your prize today, but we appreciate you being on the show with us, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
Who needs an expert opinion when Wally is an expert at sharing his?
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it?
It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
I know things have been kind of crazy politically lately, and tomorrow is a big day for the country to see how this whole thing shakes out with the presidential race. But there was a New York City private school that said that students can skip classes the day after the presidential election if they feel too emotionally distressed. A, most kids don't care about the election, and all you're doing is giving them a day off. And B, what in the world kind of message are you sending to these kids?
What do you think is the message they're sending to them?
If you don't get your way, it's okay to take an emotional support day and just recenter and be you, versus, no, you don't always get your way in life and you have to keep moving forward. It's a very dangerous lesson. Go home and whine and sit there and do nothing? Like, that's crazy to me. Really, Rock? You don't think that's crazy?
No. Well, if you're asking my opinion.
I am asking, yes.
Okay. I do think on the surface, yes, this sounds crazy and ridiculous. But I think that there is a healthy balance. They're swinging far to this side while you're swinging to the far opposite side. I think there can be a balance of teaching kids, hey, take some time for yourself.
5 minutes.
Okay, see, that's you, though, on this way other side, okay?
No.
I think it's healthy to listen to what your feelings are trying to tell you, like get to the root of that,
Right.
figure it out, but also don't let it stop your life. Don't let your feelings make your life go the way
To your
you
point,
think.
go to school and talk about it.
Yeah,
Like, keep doing your normal life and talk about it.
but don't ignore it.
No, it's fine. Yeah, talk about it. Be a teacher and have a conversation. All right, kids, today what we're going to do is we're actually going to discuss this and why
Yeah,
this is hard
I
and
think
why
that's
you might be
healthy.
feeling anxious about it or frustrated or
Exactly.
mad. Yeah, do that. But when you just say, oh, take the day off, it's lunacy. You know, we talk about the future generation. I'm like wicked concerned for where we're going to be going in this country, with the kids today, because I can't even blame them anymore, because these are adults making these decisions. These are people running a school, adults with jobs being paid a lot of money that are like coddling kids, and they're never going to be strong.
It sounds like you're not getting your way and you're a little triggered.
But I'm talking about it, and I'm at work.
But maybe you should take the day off.
No, you know what? You're absolutely right. Maybe I should, Rock. And it's funny too, because I'm not the only one that thinks this. Jerry Seinfeld, he's a comedian. His 2 sons attended that school, and he told them that decisions like this led to one of his kids leaving the school because he's like, that's why they hated it. What kind of lives have these people led that make them think this is the right way to handle young people, to encourage them to buckle? This is the lesson they are providing for ungodly sums of money.
Ooh.
I know. I mean, like I love that Jerry Seinfeld's like, no, this is lunacy, you know? And so anyway, but all of that said, tomorrow is going to be a super crazy day. Some people like super happy, other people super frustrated and angry. And I would say constructively deal with that stuff versus going nuts on Facebook and
talk about it to an actual individual.
Yeah, versus just venting.
Either way.
And not being able, and then also hurting your relationships with people in your life over this kind of stuff. You know, I've seen that happen a lot lately. And so that to me is a real sad byproduct of the politics. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. We're going to do that thing no one else can say about their weekend. You tell us a story that you think might be super unique to you. For example, my wife had bought a picture when we were in Disneyland, like a painting, and I made a frame for it, okay? And so I worked on it and made this frame. And so that's not the thing that's amazing that no one else could say, because a lot of people could do that. This is for anyone who has ever hung anything on a wall. And guys, I think especially can understand this. So my wife asked me hang it. It's heavy, so I need to put 2 nails in the wall or 2 screws in the wall.
Okay.
Anytime you're hanging something into a wall, if you can hit a stud, it's always ideal. Okay. So I go and I randomly place this thing where she wants it, and I do my pilot hole screw. First miracle, I hit a stud.
Whoa!
I haven't used a stud finder, nothing. Just like, what just happened?
Just natural abilities.
Exactly. I'm like, unbelievable. But then the problem is, I know I'm 23 5/8 away from that other screw. Studs in a wall are 16 inches on center. There's no way in God's green earth that I should hit another stud. But I did with the second screw.
This guy.
I hit another stud. What in the world? How is that possible? Mathematically impossible.
It is. Your life is just miracle after
Yeah.
miracle.
I didn't have to use anchors in the wall. I was able to put 2.5-inch screws in the studs. Hang it perfectly level. Yeah. No one else can say that. Because finding one stud is tough enough. Even with a stud finder sometimes. Finding 2 with no stud finder, that's the Lord. Like, there's no other explanation for that. I wonder if like he did that back in Bible days at some point. It was one of his miracles, and
Finding
they just
stud finder?
and they just didn't write it down.
Oh my word.
You know, they were like, hey, let's go with the water to wine. People will understand that more. But he's like, no, I hit a stud in a wall.
Listen, I'm trying to support you here, but you're pushing it.
I don't know. It's pretty amazing. So there you go. That is the thing that I did that I don't think anyone else can ever say about their weekend. This weekend, or maybe even in all of eternity.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay.
It's a big claim.
So what is yours? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. That thing about your weekend that you think is unique to you, that you think no one else could say this about their weekend. Gina, what is yours? What is that thing about your weekend that you think no one else could say?
That they fell while playing kickball with the students during kids' church.
You know what? I appreciate you getting out there as an adult and playing kickball with the kids, even though, like, as you get older, it hurts more when you fall. How old are you?
33.
Oh, you're young! You're young. But did you get hurt?
No, I'm good. Just some cracker burn. I laughed about it. It was funny.
Here's the thing. She isn't hurt physically.
Right.
But emotionally, she's the butt of the joke of all of them. Now the kids are laughing at her.
Did they nickname you?
Yeah. Gina falls a lot.
Gina falls on. Okay, it is bad. It's worse than we thought. Actually, if you walk out of a situation with a nickname, you're not getting rid of that anytime soon. What do you got?
So I'm the chief election officer in my county. I'm the county clerk, and we process almost 4,000 voters on Saturday for early voting.
Oh, that's really good. So you seeing a lot of people getting out and voting early this year? Because I know I already early voted. Betty, you voted, right?
Yeah.
Gavin still yet to vote?
Still trying to.
Okay, well, he's not an early guy. He's going to get out there today or tomorrow because tomorrow's your last day. So are you seeing a lot of people turn out early?
Yes. So we have 3 days of early voting in Kentucky, and each day was either close to 4,000 or right over 4,000 for my county. And we have 78,000, 79,000 registered voters. So it's pretty amazing. People are very passionate about this election.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a nail-biter, man. This one's going to come down to it. Do you guys appreciate people having fun at the polls, like in doing fun things or saying fun things?
Absolutely. My cousin came dressed up as Medusa.
Oh, nice.
And it's so nice in this year of divisiveness that people who have came out to early vote have been incredibly kind and encouraging, not just to me, but also to the poll workers.
Oh, good.
It's not an easy job. So
No.
I'm so grateful.
I remember asking the poll worker at my station, I'm like, hey, real quick, how do I vote twice? I forgot. And I just did it deadpan, and she's like, no, you can't vote twice. I said, I think you can. And she's like, no, you can't. I'm like, okay, fine. Agree to disagree.
He treats every situation like a stand-up comic.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But you can tell Leslie's like, we love the jokes. All right, so there you go. Make sure you get out and vote tomorrow, because this is going to be it for the presidential election tomorrow night. So thank you, Leslie. Appreciate you being on the show with us.
Monday School is a chance for Wally to share what he learned at church and prove that he went.
You might be familiar with the story in the Bible of Peter and John coming across a man who had been lame for most of his life. And Peter says, silver and gold have I not, but such as I have give I you. In the name of Jesus Christ, rise up and walk. So he heals this guy. And this is a man who hadn't walked in like 40 years. Everyone in the area knew him as a beggar because they would pass him every day. That's a great story, and most of the time that's where we stop there. It's about faith and what God can do and the Holy Spirit inside of you and stuff like that. But now it's time for the Paul Harvey, the rest of the story. Because I was unaware of this, actually.
And now you know the rest
of the story. Exactly. So, good reference. I'm glad you actually knew that. So, see, Peter and John actually got arrested and brought before the religious leaders for healing this man. And the religious leaders noticed that Peter and John were different. They noted that they were bold. And so they also have the lame man there as well. And they know something miraculous happened because they knew the lame man as well. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on. They let him go. They bring him back later to further have a conversation with him. And they basically say, we're not going to punish you, but you just can't talk about Jesus anymore. Okay? And if you do that, we're good. Well, Peter, still in his boldness, and remember, this is the same guy that denied Jesus 3 times the night before Jesus was crucified. He's like, no. He said, should I listen to Jesus or should I listen to you? I'm going to listen to and follow Jesus for the rest of my life. And this is a message about being bold in our faith and not being ashamed of him, but something else hit me inside of this though as well. Like that's all fine and good. But I think the thing that's really important is Peter failed. He failed big. It's like an epic religious fail when he denies Jesus, because he was the guy that's like, man, Lord, I'm going to defend you forever, and I'm your guy. And then the times get tough, and he gets scared, and he loses it, and he denies him. But then 100 days later or whatever it is, here he is going before the same people that crucified Jesus, boldly proclaiming, I am not going to turn my back on Jesus. And so to me, it's that transition of, just because you make a mistake once in your faith, or even 100 times, it doesn't write you off. Jesus never wrote Peter off. And then it turns out that, it took him some time, but he got there to where he understood the salvation that he had and what Jesus was, and that was worth dying for in essence, And so I think for me, the encouragement is, we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to fall short in our faith, but it's never too learn to turn it around, because Jesus isn't looking for our perfection. He's just looking for our participation, So if any of this lands with you and you're like, oh, I like this, I'd like to share this with somebody, it's our Monday School podcast. You can just text the word Monday to 91979. We'll send you a link, and you can get it there. And we add some stuff to it. We go a little bit deeper, a little bit longer on it if you want to share this or take it in yet again. Again, Monday to 91979.
Over 20 million fans have made Trans-Siberian Orchestra their holiday tradition. Bring the whole family and make it part of yours. The Lost Christmas Eve, returning to the stage for the first time in over 10 years. Coming to a city near you. Go to tsotickets.com for show dates and tickets. Don't miss the all-new show. Soaring guitars, dazzling lasers, and enough pyro to keep you warm all season. Coming to a city near you. Go to TSOtickets.com for show dates and tickets. The Lost Christmas Eve, live in concert.
If you can't find Gavin, he's probably writing his story
Even though I don't really need to do a week,
in the bathroom.
I'm going to do one anyway.
It's News-ish with Gavin.
I've been realizing a lot recently, it's been hitting me that I am responsible for a kid right now.
I know,
My
crazy, right?
son is going to be 3 months old here soon, and right now it's you're really in the muck of feed, sleep. You're just keep them alive because they can't do anything. But eventually, I'm going to be responsible for helping kind of form him into the person that he's going to be someday. And my dad, I give him a lot of credit. Mom and dad, I will say, for a lot of credit for who I've become. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be interesting and a lot of pressure to build him up and to make him resilient. Resilient is something I'm hoping to instill in him. And I found this list of things you can do to make your kids more resilient. And I actually liked a lot of the things on this list. The first one was, don't be afraid to let your kids fail.
That's really hard. And I will tell you this as a dad, when you watch your kid and you know something's going south and you can see it, but you have to let them experience that, the feelings that come with that, and rising back above that. It is really important, but it is hard.
They do say that, that famous phrase of it's not about how far, or how hard you get knocked down. It's all about how you get back up. It will be interesting to see how he does that at, a young age. The next thing was interesting. Allow your kids to worry, actually.
Yeah.
It says to shut them off from the ability to if something's going wrong, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of that. Take care of that. It can be healthy to let them process that emotion. And I think that this has to be given that it has to be about the right stuff.
Sure.
Your kid doesn't have to worry about your bank account. Your kid doesn't have to worry about the bigger things, but it's okay to let them worry about maybe the little things that they do.
Or the consequences for their actions.
That's also, I remember worrying about that kind of stuff. And then the last one that I actually thought was really interesting was to teach them how to value their own personal growth instead of valuing external validation.
Sure.
So more about how they perceive their success instead of having somebody else tell them what's good or how they're succeeding.
That one is really, really super formative and important, but one of the hardest things for kids to do because they are just a byproduct of the other kids around them. And that's what social media does. That's what, but even before that, when you're just in school around kids, you determine who you are and your self-worth from what other people think about you. And that's really hard. Cause my daughter, I tried to instill a really healthy, self-confidence in who she was, but she still got undone by, girls at school and things like that.
You spend 8 hours at this building with all of these other people who are all going through their stuff, and they're going to tell you how you should feel.
Yeah.
And so I guess in my head, as a parent, it's just very valuable to bring them home, remind them of who they are in themselves and in Christ as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Also, too, solidifying that and who they are to Jesus and who he says they are. We play that song by Ben Fuller, Who I Am. Great song. I love that song. That is a fundamental song for kids to understand and hear and really, really grasp the concept of. And you're not going to always be there with them for all these conversations and stuff. And that's why Way FM is such a great tool as a parent to have on and have around, because it's these reminders to them. Even when you think they're not listening, they are, and they hear this stuff. And it's great reminders for them as to who they are. And that's one of the messages we do in the music we play or the things we say. And so if you've ever benefited from that, man, thank you for listening. And maybe even right now, as we head into Support Drive Friday, we have some people that have put up $20,000 to inspire people to do their best monthly gift, whatever that looks like right now for you. If you were to do $10 a month, you could have $20,000 worth of impact by Thursday night. That's when the opportunity closes. So if you want to give us a head start as we move into Support Drive on Friday, that would be amazing. If you've ever thought, man, my kids need to hear this stuff. It's not just a want or a fun. They need to hear this because I'm not always going to be there. Maybe you turn around and help support it.
Text the word GIVE to 91979. That's GIVE to 91979. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Rock Report with Betty Rock.
Every year around this time, Oprah decides to release her favorite things list.
Ooh. And it's very upper crust. Well,
it is.
We care because she's Oprah, and she used to put out all these weird things like, I think of my favorite thing is just buy a hot air balloon instead of taking those rides and paying for them.
Yeah, so in the past, she has had ridiculously overpriced items like a hex-clad 7-piece set with lids, $500.
Yeah, not crazy. Hex-clad, they almost got me at Costco for $300 for a set of those.
I want those so
I know.
bad. They look cool.
I resisted. I got another version, a knockoff version of them for like way, way less than that, and I've been very happy with it. But the hex-clad, I'm not going to hate on that.
She also had on their Apple Watch, $800.
Yeah,
but most people are not in her same tax bracket, and they can't just throw out $500 or $800 on one single person's gift. Well, it seems like the word has gotten to her, and she released this year's favorite things, but she released a separate list, and it's favorite things under $50.
Favorite things for poor people.
Right?
Yeah, it's what she's really released.
So here's what's on the list. I picked 3 different items. The first one, a Pixie Mood travel neck pillow. Now, what's special about this one is it folds down into a small silicone carrying case to keep it clean while you're on the go.
That is fantastic, and I'm sure she's never used one in first class. Because she's not flying in the back of the plane where you need one of those.
She's got her own jet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's only $40 and you can buy it on Amazon. Another one that made the list, headlight pom-pom beanie, $30.
What?
So this is a beanie with a pom-pom on top, and it has a little LED chargeable headlight. And this is perfect for your friends that take their dog out for a walk when it's late at night, or you're taking a jog when the sun is set too early.
There you go.
It's a perfect gift for them. And then finally, the mitt kit. It's a dry shampoo and comb.
This is right up your alley, Rock, because you very rarely wash your hair.
$38. Okay. It's for dogs.
Oh. Right up your alley, Rock, because, they have very nice coats.
So it comes with a little mitt, a comb, and some dry shampoo for your dog.
That's
designed for quick cleanups and safe for all dogs.
That's a good idea, Gavin, because you have 2 dogs, and trying to wash them in the tub, I would imagine, is an ordeal.
It's a lot. So.
I've watched people build washing stations outside their house, like a dog washing station. Like, that's something you might want to check into.
It's also called a water hose in a yard.
Yeah, I do have that. The last time I tried that, I think that I was washed more than my dog Jasper was by the end. So it's chaos. This thing sounds like it could be helpful.
Well, there you go. That is Oprah's favorite list for poor people this year. Probably something.
Not what the official name is, but it might as well be.
Exactly. And that's your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Recently, Betty Rock and I were in the car. We were driving, and we had Gavin on speakerphone. And then something unfolded with his dog that just got more and more chaotic, Yeah,
you heard on the other end his dog that gives him a hard time. This dog is just...
He's tough.
He's a tough one to love. But he escaped from outside the backyard. And you hear Gavin, he's like, Jasper, no! And then he's like, I gotta call you back. And then he hangs up the phone. The boy chased the dog down.
I'm 29 years old.
Here's the thing, too. That dog had no collar, had no chip.
Nope.
So he comes in all the time talking about how Jasper keeps him up all night. Jasper did this. Jasper did that.
Got skunked. Yes. A lot of drama with this boy.
Yes. Yeah. To me, I saw that as an answer to prayer. That was Jasper choosing to go find another home and be adopted by another family. And you, sir, You decided to, instead of taking that answer to prayer, you chased after Jasper and brought him back.
The problem is that you say another home, but in my head, it was the afterlife because there was a very busy road that he was working his way towards.
Well, that's very kind of you. I see it as an opportunity.
A missed opportunity.
Yes, a missed opportunity.
And this is the truth is that I love him to death. My life would objectively be a smidge calmer,
smidge
if
easier.
If I had
smidge less expensive.
chosen not to adopt him and that's that's tough because for all the dog people out there, you can't say that, but everyone's got someone or something in their life that's a little hard
to love.
And I decided to ignore that little answered prayer.
See, Betty sees it. Yeah, you had to answer the prayer. He escaped, and then you went after him. And boy, when Gavin got back on the phone, he was winded.
I'm so tired.
Like he was winded. Oh my goodness, that was the funniest part to me. Was he couldn't formulate a sentence almost because he was so tired.
Oh, yeah.
So Betty sees that as an answer to prayer that now Gavin sees, I probably should have let that go. And then it would have been an answer to prayer. So I am curious, have you ever had a moment in your life, it can be silly or serious, but like where you had an answer to prayer that you didn't recognize until later? You know, like there was something, because we always pray, God, do this, go do this. And then sometimes the answer pops up and you don't see it. And then later you're looking back on it and you're like, nuts, that was my answer to prayer, and I kind of missed that a little bit. So I'm just curious if you've been in that boat before. 855-33-WAY-FM. We love having you on the show, and that's how you can do it. 855-33-WAY-FM. Uplifting WAY-FM. This is the Wally Show. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about answered prayers, or not realizing that maybe God had answered a prayer till later on, because sometimes you get so consumed by the moment that you don't see the provision.
Yeah. I had been working for a company for several years, and I had worked my way up to be a supervisor. And I just knew whenever the manager left, because we knew she was leaving, that is where I would end up. And whenever it happened and she transferred, I did not end up there. And I just could not figure out why. And about 6 months later, the whole team that ended up there, managers and managers from a different team, they ended up getting fired because they missed something. And I always say, I look back to say that, yes, I think I would have seen that, but I can't be positive. So I think that was just a dodge bullet. And in the moment, I couldn't see it, and I was upset. But just later on, I knew that he was watching over me.
I remember I got a job offer out in L.A. I'd been out of work, and I went out to work with this show in L.A. So that's one of the top 2 markets in the country for radio. And so great job. I end up not taking it, and I remember coming back thinking, I'll get other jobs offers. If I got that job, that's easy. And I didn't get anything for like a year. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, Lord, I missed the answer to prayer, the provision I should have taken. I second-guessed myself. But like literally, like you, 3 months later, everyone on that show got fired. And so I was like, holy moly, I'm so glad I didn't take that gig now, because then I would have been in L.A. where it was super expensive with no job and didn't know anybody.
Yes, whenever it happened, that's exactly what I thought. I was just thinking, thank you, Jesus, for watching it over me and, guiding my path a different way, because without that, I could have lost a job. And I've been with this company for over 20 years now, and that could have been, a dead end for a job that I've been training for years.
Well, there you go. I appreciate you being on the show with us today, Carrie. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, it has. What happened was we had one child, and we had planned for 2, and didn't ever have the second one, and was pointed out by a very wise counselor later, because I'm a preschool teacher, and really helped to raise hundreds of children in 32 years. And she pointed out that you wouldn't have been able to pour into these other children like you did had you had 2 or 3 children. And there's a second layer to that, which is my daughter chose not to have children, so I had no grandkids. And there were children in my neighborhood that really needed grandparents, pseudo-parents, and I poured into them like daily.
Oh, there you go. I love that, where you have the thing that doesn't go the way that you plan, but you find a way to kind of redeem that, or you let God redeem that in your life through you. That's awesome. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate you being on the show with us today.
You're welcome.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and there's a lot of negativity in the world. I mean, if you watch the news for 5 minutes, you will definitely feel it. It's negativity in politics and things like that, and I understand that because I can get consumed on what I call realism, but it's more pessimistic than optimistic for sure, and so I get that. But we've created a brand new world's biggest small group. If you've been feeling that negative in your life, and you're like, man, I gotta switch this up, I gotta replace that negativity with something positive, this might be just the thing for you.
Yeah, it's called Escape the Negative. And so we look into God's word and he shows us how we can escape the negative in joy, in peace, in hope, and in prayer. And if this is something that resonates with you and sounds like something you could use, all you gotta do is text the word escape to 91979. That's escape to 91979, and we will send you a link. Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.